Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining me. And this is Tea Time with Angels. I am your host, Troy J. Bacon. And just for context, I am certified in hypnotherapy as well as all three levels of Usui Reiki into Usui Mastership and certified in Angelic Reiki 1 and 2 and teaching that. That's one of my greatest passions and healing tools. So that's one of my tools. But really, the focus of this is about kind of connection and conversation with the angels and the divine realm, the beings within the divine realm, and how they can help us live much more harmonious and graceful lives. So today, I'm joined with my friend Cristin, and I met her a few months ago in person at first, and then that was at a spiritual mentors meetup, I can say, and that's a lovely large group that I continue going to. I trust that Cristin will, and anyway, so she is an angelic soul. I'm also a walk-in with a lot of starseed, but also angel dimensional involvement. And we both feel angels around us. I understand it daily. So, Cristin, introduce yourself and maybe introduce how you got started with this or became aware of this.
Wow. Okay, that's a really big question. All right, I'm Cristin Becket. How I became aware of angels, how I became aware of the unseen world. That's a big one. Who I am kind of in the physical world, I'll go there first. I became a yoga teacher about 15 years ago, got certified, started teaching yoga. I started really getting into Shavasana, which is the last part of yoga where you just basically let go and feel what's there. And I got into doing a lot of meditation at that time. And I started thinking that I could take my students to the places that I was touching in meditation a lot more quickly than teaching physical yoga. So I stopped teaching yoga and I sort of jumped almost straight into crystals. And I was in a crystal shop and I felt very called by the spirit of the man who had died but was the former owner of the shop to work there. And so I sort of heard him say, "Work here." And then I really didn't know anything about crystals at all. But I loved their energy and I felt like I could feel their energy. And so within a couple weeks, I was working as the sole seller of crystals in this shop. And I started really understanding their energy very, very quickly, like on another level. The names of the crystals all seemed to be already embedded in my head. So when I would learn something like sodalite, for example, I got my sodalite right here, it would just stay there. And there's a lot of other information that I've had in my life. I used to be a history teacher, and yet I could never remember dates. But for some reason, all of these crystals just spoke to me and stuck with me. And then people would come into the shop and they'd be asking for a crystal for themselves, or they'd be asking for a crystal for other people. And I would be able to channel in the person and the type of energy they needed, or I would be able to channel in the type of energy the person who I was speaking with needed. And it just seemed very natural and normal. And so I became this person who very suddenly understood that I could do this other thing that I was not expecting, and I still don't completely understand, but that's sort of the magic of it, right? And so I worked in the crystal shop for quite a while, became a substitute teacher, started reading crystals for people, which means kind of using crystals as kind of like tarot cards, using their energies to help me connect with the person's energy and guide the person through maybe a little mini transformation in a half-hour period. And most recently, I just enjoy meditating a lot. I created this beautiful I was called to create this beautiful shed around me, which I call a studio for the angels, maybe. And I have lots of crystals. You'll notice that I don't, if I'm really being authentic, it's difficult for me to hold gaze with a person because my authenticity just comes through me like really, really quickly. It's like lightning almost. So so I always have to almost apologize to people for not keeping eye contact with them while I channel, because really the angels like want to speak through me right now. And so that's what happens a lot when I start with a really high energy being with me who's open to it. Generally what happens is that the energies that want to come through me just come through me because I've allowed myself to become a channel, is what I'm hearing, is that I've allowed myself to become a channel, that I've opened myself and my physical being up to being a channel for much higher energies than normally were contained in this little being. So yeah. I hope that answered your question, something how I got into this, not expecting it at all. Yeah,
that does. And of course there's a lot you unpacked there, but that's kind of appropriate because a lot of us who do work with angels and archangels and the divine realm, and like you said, also your past with crystals and these parts of your journey that transformed you, I think those are actually very congruent with a lot of us who are sensitive and open to this. It's like, it's so big and vast, so many parts of life to explore, so many parts of consciousness, modes and ways of engaging with consciousness. A few things that I want to point out congruent with your story, and I think a lot of other angel workers, is it seems that angels tend to guide us toward working with crystals for healing, energy healing. They definitely acknowledge that, and although crystals are the children of the earth realm, the stone nation, the angels are aware of their energies, especially selenite is, I understand, the
selenite,
the highest frequency crystal
I'm hearing that
I know of, one of them that connects directly with the angels.
Yeah. We could talk about that. We could talk just about selenite if you want to.
Yeah. We can certainly circle back to that, but I want to just quickly note that also yoga practices, not only the physical yoga practices, but energy body, and then the meditative and consciousness yoga practices seem to be a realm that the archangels, even from the Kabbalistic and Jewish traditions, tend to guide us toward exploring and mastering, some of us, and other things too. I don't know if you've done any, but the angels and seraphim also guided me toward psilocybin mushroom healing, as well as now I'm also exploring and enjoying just basic mushrooms like shiitake and lion's mane and maitake. But so that's a good introduction there. So I believe we had talked previously also about a topic that we could start sort of focusing on in this episode, exploring, is the topic of freedom, what it means to actually be free these days.
I like this topic. Yes,
I do too. It's so, I think, timeless, but so important these days. So many people feel stuck and trapped by especially in America, government and society. But what are your thoughts on that, Cristin? Especially with the first question of kind of what it means to be free or not.
Yes, to be free or not. Okay, so again, I just want to emphasize that that I receive a lot of information in meditation. I think I get sort of like opened up during my meditations, and so and then like what I'm hearing is that right now something like this is being channeled for everybody. It's not it's not, and this is when I do a crystal reading too, I often find that it's not just for the two people that are here, it's really for the larger whole, that we all are higher consciousness, and that we all have that within us, that there isn't one person who isn't a part of this larger, highly intelligent, highly magical being that we all are. And that it's exciting to learn that within the being that we are each carry sort of an individual light resonance, and that light resonance, our individual soul light resonance, when it becomes alive, is, well, it's a little bit, I want to say the word intoxicating, and it can be super confusing, because all of a sudden this light becomes alive in us that sees that we are creating everything around us. It's not that we're creating the physicalness around us, although there might be a little bit of that, but the first opening is to see, or one of the first openings is to see the thoughts and the thought patterns, and that words are highly suggestive, and words carry such a potent power in our lives that we are to be very careful with how we use each word, not only that we speak out loud, but that we say in our minds to ourselves. And that most of us, unfortunately, are programmed with all the wrong words. Like literally, I'm hearing most of us have words inside of us that are not ours, that we are called to see and filter out and have space for something that is much, much larger and much, much more beautiful than we ever have imagined before. It's so big and large that I can hardly even speak about like what this is. And so it's really exciting to become free with this in this realm, and realize that we are the curators of not only our physical lives, but more importantly, we're the curators of the words. And so the words are like the keys. I've been searching a long time for like, what's the key? And the keys for me anyway are the words. And before that, there's the energy. I have to say, like, before I got the words, I would sit down and meditate and ask a lot about, could I just receive the energy? But on this realm, I'm hearing, and for me specifically, because you each have to kind of figure out how your specific machine works in the realm of the physical. We each have like machines, like these are our machines, these bodies, and we send out a signal, and we have to really understand the signals that we're sending out. And if our signals are certain words that are negative, what we're going to see back is that same thing. Everything out here is a mirror. So I'm just exploring like everybody else is. I just want to like be really, really clear about that. I don't really know anything. But I am beginning to trust that what is coming through me at any given moment is from a much higher place than I've ever acted from before.
I would say spot on, Cristin.
Like, I know what, like,
that's, yeah, that definitely answers the like, question. So a few things there.
Good, I'm glad you caught him.
I appreciate that you're going into the power of words, and a lot of people, even in America and the West, are talking about that now, the power of words, and there's certifications for neurolinguistic programming. I've studied that a little bit, but I didn't get the full certification. So I understand that as a hypnotherapist too. The repeated speech patterns that people say over and over again, usually multiple times a day, most of us who have patterns, can be limiting or empowering. And so that's actually a matter of your awareness and choice, willpower, but it also requires programming. And if you catch yourself speaking a lot of negative or contradictory phrases throughout the day, then it does require some work, actual work, and it takes time to reprogram. But that can be done through writing, through journaling, through just, like I said, neurolinguistic programming, usually that's best with a practitioner. Even a workbook can be helpful from a certified practitioner. But I would like to say that workbooks are lovely. I love workbooks myself. But I do recommend, if you truly want deep, effective transformation, working with a practitioner, neurolinguistic, or a hypnotherapist, someone who's actually received comprehensive training and years of practice, who knows what they're actually getting into and how to help you reprogram into the optimal self that you want. That's a bit there. But there's also a Japanese word, kododama, which literally means the power of words, and it's really an ancient Japanese knowledge that words are powerful. And fortunately, in today's world, we have books out by Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto that is really fantastic work that is photographically proving that when you speak to water, like water in a vessel, a cup, and then freeze it, it freezes in specific ways that represent how you spoke to it. The really beautiful crystals are the harmonious, loving, positive, encouraging, and healing words. Even I have this book, Light on the Origins of Reiki, that goes into some of this, and the author was part of one of Masaru's studies on exposing samples of water to Reiki symbols and their names. And they also showed specific beautiful crystals based on the symbols and the Reiki energy there. So yeah, it really does matter what you say to yourself. Also, the music you listen to. That's another piece I want to put forward. The songs that you listen to. Be careful also be aware of the artists and what they stand for and how they fashion their songs. But also the specific words, phrases, and the specific tunes and notes and frequencies of each note does affect you. Just as sound healing, there's many ways of doing that, many instruments for sound healing these days. That's effective and scientifically proven, just like with Masaru's experiments, to like really reprogram the subconscious in a positive way, as well as relieve energetic, mental, and even physical toxins from the body. Relieve pain, various things like that. But yeah, so those are some examples. But just like I love that you're opening this box, Cristin, of freedom or kind of entrapment too, that so many are still within. I know that I've been there. I'm much more aware these days of the songs I listen to, and typically when I'm driving, I don't even play specific music in my car, or sometimes I listen to harmonious healing music when I'm driving if I feel it. Pretty careful of the artists I listen to also. There's some songs, I have to say, that are coming out these days by some newer artists, perhaps, that I have to say are cringy and repulsive. I've heard some of them. I know that all of us have, but if you cringe at a song first time you hear it, you know that it's just bad frequency in there. But anyway, this I think this box that's worth exploring about sort of inner consciousness entrapment, the ways that we limit ourselves with our limiting beliefs that we tell ourselves, versus the empowering, freeing beliefs that we keep not just reprogram, but we keep repeating and truly empowering and building off of belief structures, positive belief structures that free us.
Yes. Yeah. So a couple things so many things came up while you were talking.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I can catch them all. I think I need a piece of paper here to like jot down. On the in the music thing, here's what's interesting. And this is I'll go back to the music thing about freedom. I just want to go back to this idea of freedom. What I'm noticing about freedom is that the freedom has to come from knowing yourself. The freedom cannot and will not ever come from anything out here. You will never be given it by another person. You can be reflected it by another person, but you will never be given it by another person. It is something that literally you need to open yourself up to yourself and give yourself the time in this life to do it and the focus. Over and over again, when I first was getting into meditation and I would get to like the core point of who I am, the 0 point of who we all are, what I would see is that maybe if I am something even slightly distinct from someone else, if my soul is something, how will I define that something? And the only way that I could define it is focus. That my individual focus may be distinct from Troy's individual focus. And then we have a responsibility to that focus. We have a responsibility to direct, to become the directors of our own ships. And if I make my focus everything out here, there is no way that I will ever get to where I want, because all of this is beyond my capability. If I make my focus, my energy, and who I am, and seeing who I am, and what it really feels like to embody what we are, which is this intense, beautiful, magical feeling. If we distill the focus down to, and I did a lot of work on this and have done a lot, because I would love to be able to experience angelic frequency, these higher frequencies in this physical body. Like that seems to be something that has pulled my soul. What would it mean to be able to have literally what I know to be true in my physical body here on earth? Now, I'm not there, but I call that in. I ask for that. I ask for that openness. I ask for the words that will teach me to become as embodied as I possibly can be in this life. And I ask from this place, from my heart, and I listen. And I become more and more open. And I guess the reason I'm saying this is because for me, that practice has been about meditation, and I don't understand how anybody else could get to that without sitting really, really quietly with their eyes closed, with just themselves. And then I can ask for a higher. Oh, what I have been hearing lately, and this is, okay, I'll channel this right now, is that more and more human beings are coming in with more and more understanding on a cellular level of who they are. And so they come in not feeling as separated as I did. And so my journey has been far different from what I want to say most human beings are coming in with now. That because I'm an older generation, I was coming in with not as much. We can look at Jesus, or we can look at other very high spiritual beings and see that they came in with full knowledge. Their bodies were equipped with full understanding of who they really are. And so anyway, did I get there? Did we get somewhere about freedom, that it takes like a real inward journey to become free? I'm not saying that like to being free is like this. Although if we could just in an instant kind of see what we really are, why then we're free, right? but for most of it, it's been a path. For me, definitely, it's been a path of balancing out. I'm a physical being. I'm a spiritual being. How do I merge this, or how do I come to simply know and embody what I really am, and not feel that separation and fear? Did I get somewhere there, Troy?
You did, and you just opened up literally another excellent question I'd love to explore. So yeah, a few things. Where was that going? Well, so definitely we can address that last question that you brought up of like how you and each of us can like explore, expand, and integrate in a divine way, even within a lifetime of this physical body, which I've learned to actually think of my body and all of ours as really beautiful, perfect, divine vessels that are designed by the divine realm, so that our supernal divine souls, the spark that divides to embody within us, then can integrate and perceive and have the experiences of being human, and then learn enlightenment and reunification as the end goal of the game. I could go on and on, probably for hours, talking about those dynamics in the game, but yeah, that's a question I definitely like to touch with you on a little bit. Another point that keeps us almost escaping my mind, but one topic I wanted to put forward, or one idea, it really came to me, I think, last night or just recently. I'll touch on this a little bit more in another video too that I'm gonna make on my own, but it's the point of the light body. And I've really been feeling and sort of listening to the wisdom and awakening of my light body lately, partly by purifying this body, the physical body, with being more aware of the foods and substances I'm consuming. It keeps telling me to focus more on like fresh foods and foods that look like they're made by the earth, more than processed foods, because processed foods are energetically dead, whereas fresh foods still have life force in them and electricity, some of them. So that's something to think about, just for the body. Non-GMO too. The angels and seraphim always tell me non-GMO, because GMO produce has artificially altered DNA structure. And when you tamper with the already divine and perfect DNA of anything, then it alters the way that DNA can actually process and crystallize light, spiritual and physical light and energy in it. And so if you're eating lots of non-GMO foods, that will affect your DNA and probably your mRNA and how your body actually puts things together.
Yeah, I want to point out something here, Troy, because I've heard it. I heard it a while ago too. And I know I'm interrupting you, so sorry.
That's okay. This is kind of like a flow where we get into these tangents, but I also like to bring it back to the main questions and topics. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is definitely about freedom. And so here's what's interesting to me, and I've been really curious about this myself. If I tell myself something like, caffeine's bad for me, caffeine's bad for me, caffeine's bad for me, if that's like the underlying thought that I have going on while I drink coffee, then that will manifest in the cells. And so I think that it's very important that we look at how we language what we are eating. And that even if it is something that has GMOs in it or something, that I'm working with my body on just saying to it, everything that comes into your body is meant for your body. It is nourishing for your body. It is, it is going toward the divine print. It is beautiful, your body. We can actually remake our food with our thoughts. Now, that's a very, very high concept I'm hearing, but it's kind of where we're going. That if we continue to say, like, for example, for me, I don't choose to drink alcohol, because I did see basically that if I drank alcohol the next day, I didn't feel good, and even if I just had one glass of it. And so for me, I've chosen that is not something that's actually, it's just not an experience I want to have anymore. And this is all about freedom. It's all, and this, I mean, all these things we're talking about, the things that we, to be very conscious of, when I go out with a certain friend, this might sound kind of judgmental, but this is what I do. Afterwards, I will check in with my body, my physical body, and I will say, how do you feel? And then I have a choice. Then I can go, oh gosh, that I feel great. I really loved being with that person. I feel like we generated new ideas. I feel more alive because I was with that person. Then I can make a conscious choice of, oh, I would like to be with that person again. If we then take the time to say, oh, I'm not feeling so good, then we can make the choice to not be with that friend again. But we can also make the choice, and this is almost more profound, this is what I was getting about energy, to be with that friend again and to see that they are not the person that is in charge of how I feel. I am in charge of how I feel. And so, and this again is a very high concept, to be a person who is so in touch with themselves, where they themselves are radiating out the light and who they are, and not ingesting, and see that we're source power, and flow that through, and not ingesting all these other people who've got all this other stuff going on because they're not, all these, right? I can have all kinds of judgments about all the people out there that they're not clear, that they haven't cleared that thoughts. I used to go around totally unconsciously trying to clear every single person, but I didn't know. But that's what my body learned to do in childhood, was to go around trying to clear energy. And so once I saw that I could be sovereign, that I could be in my own energy, it's like, and this again is about freedom, so much about freedom, being able to see I am the curator. I heard that from, there's this guy on the internet, anyway, he talks about that we are curating our own energy. We are curating who we are in every moment. We are at choice in who we are. This is the creativity, and this is the consciousness, being aware enough while we're here to see that we have choice, and to be asking in each moment, what do I really want? And the I that I'm speaking from is the bigger I. And when we get to the bigger I, when we get to the one I, that I am, and I know who I am, that present just says you are always in what you want. It's almost like, it's like we're clearing out the layers to be very present with what we really are. And once we get to the place where we're present with what we really are, and we're living in that, and we're knowing that on all levels, on a light body level, on a physical level, on a thought level, we're integrated. And when we're integrated, we're free. We're always really free. But when we're integrated, we also get the perception that we're free. We completely embody. This is what I'm hearing. Anyway, I went way, but we're still getting that freedom here. We're still getting that freedom, Troy. I think we're good.
Cristin, can I give you a big bingo sign with flashing lights? Because
yes,
you hit it. So I want to comment on this knowledge and wisdom and skill that a lot of people are awakening to now. Even I can get better at mastering this, but it is the knowledge, but also it takes some skill and work to practically apply it, of staying in your own 0 point in your own heart and focus on your own feelings. Choose and control your own feelings with the absolute unshakable belief that whoever you're with, whoever's around you, if you're in public or a dramatic person at home or in a private setting, they have no authority, no effect on your emotions if you don't allow them to. If you know that you're the only one who truly controls your emotions and energy, and that you can stay calm and grounded and centered within, like you said, your 0 point, your focus, and choose just to stay calm. But I would use the words witnessing them, sort of from a detached perspective. This is from the Vedic traditions, but also psilocybin taught me this before I learned it was ancient Vedic knowledge, that just witnessing the person for what they are and what they're expressing, whatever it is, that truly helps me when I remember to apply that, to not be caught up in their emotional reactiveness or emotional chaos and drama and whatever is going on, but just to witness them for how they're feeling, for what they're expressing about any situation. And that is actually Christ consciousness. I was just having this conversation with another Reiki client this morning, that there are a lot of people, or some people I know, I think there are a lot of them out there. I think everyone, a lot of us in the awake Lightworker community have seen them, but people who claim to have this Christ consciousness but wear it as a badge and say that because they have it that they're somehow a little bit better or of a higher consciousness or are in tune with God and Christ. Oh, can you hear me?
We're talking about Christ consciousness.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. I think my earbuds got pulled away from me.
We got really high. We got so high.
You know, sometimes they have that effect on electronics. I worry that I'm starting to fry my phone because I'm running high energy all the time.
Yeah, when I take pictures of my crystals, my phone, and I do it with my phone will end up so hot it can't get all the energies that the crystals are wanting to say. Sometimes it's really wild, but okay. Yeah, so we're talking about Christ consciousness and witness consciousness.
So back to that, this topic of freedom, that's one pathway, a practical application of maintaining the fact that actually you are the one who ever does control your emotions. And it was only because at some point in your past, in this body or another, that somehow somebody taught you the illusion that somebody else or other people or foods or substances or experiences give you happiness and control your emotions. That's I would call it even a form of satanic illusion that confuses a lot of people, but it's the true Christ consciousness. And this is what I think, this is the true, or pretty close to the true teachings of Yeshua Christ, as well as Krishna, Buddha, other avatars and teachers, that not only they were teaching us to love ourselves and love all other people, but they were trying to remind us that truly we are the masters of ourselves. Just as if we theoretically or supposedly are the children of God and created in God's image, and God is an all-knowing supernal being, but in control of his creation, we have absolute control of what we create and are responsible for. And that's one of the first very early on lessons that spirit angels were trying to teach me after my walk-in 5 years ago, that the lesson of responsibility. I think that's what actually a lot of spiritual workers and light workers and healers don't talk about. Maybe they weren't taught that. Some of them, definitely, quite a few of them are responsible for their energy and what they do. But like you said, or like you implied, there are a lot of people kind of, I would say, earlier in their spiritual journey who become aware that like other people have their, I've learned to call it holes in their aura, junk and attachments, and some people have negativity that they're carrying around with them or projecting. And that's fine and good to be aware of, but the more we focus on that and worry about that, the more we actually stick that to our own Velcro. So let it go and focus on yourself. And that's one path to freedom.
Yes.
True freedom, or spiritual freedom in this way.
It has to be the internal responsibility and the knowing from inside who you are, and then going from that place of who you are. And the other thing that I'm hearing to point out is that there are also different voices. And one of the voices, unfortunately, that most people, I'm just going to say most people have sort of running, is an unconscious programming of fear, and that they will continue to look outside themselves to feed that fear. And so then there's, all this stuff happening in the outside world, and people addicted to the news and addicted to alcohol or drugs, and all that kind of stuff feeds all that fear programming. But the really beautiful thing about this, that I have to say for anybody who is in fear, because I know that there are a lot of people who are realizing that they are, oh my gosh, all of my thoughts are about fear. What am I supposed to do with that? The beautiful thing is that all of that fear talk is not you. It's not you. And I used to call it the jump, because I couldn't quite understand how to get to the high place. And so I used to call it, and I still call it, if I see myself in that negative patterning, then I jump out, and then I be with who I really am. And that who you really are is always eternally free and light and joy, and all the things that you think you want, that is what you are. And that presence that you are is always there to jump to. You don't have to heal it to get there. You don't have to go through a bunch of yoga classes to get there. You do not have to do anything to get there. It's there. It is what you are. The eternal is what you are. And I've seen this viscerally on a lot of levels because of a lot of journeys that my soul has taken, but everybody is that. And so for anybody who is listening, who sees that they are in fear, what I want you to know is that's not you. And that this higher light that is you is there for you. And it's present all the time. And it's so beautiful. And it's like, and part of the reason that I'm coming on here with you today is because I want to begin to communicate that to other people. My being is done meditating on it and feeling it by myself, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't want to be alone in this knowledge of what I am. I want to share what I am, what I know myself to be, because it's also what you are. And I'm excited about it. I'm thrilled about it. And anyway, and I want to teach about it, and I'll say blah 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 blah. But thank you for letting me get that out, because I just it's what I just used to call it was the jump, and it's for everybody, and it is everybody, and we're all there. It's just this illusion of fear that we're in that keeps us thinking things, and anyway, and you don't have to spend your whole effing life, excuse my, processing all of it. Just keep seeing it, keep being with it again and again and again and again, whatever you need to feel comfortable and whole and beautiful. Keep going there. Just keep going. Just keep going. Or as Dory says, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Yeah. Thank you, Dory. Or thank you, Cristin. That was a slip. But wow, yeah, just keep going. But I love this this ability, or I consider it an ability that you just elaborated on, of just, if you're feeling at times just a little bit like out of sorts, distracted, overwhelmed, or upset about something, especially if we're being upset, then it is valid to take a little bit of extra time to go outside, go for a walk, do what you need to do for self-care and process emotions, or even talk something out with somebody who is involved. But for just being a little bit overwhelmed or distracted, yeah, it can be just instant, just a breath of just shifting back into your own self, but not just your heart and trying to be serious about your spirituality, but shifting back into your truth that you were literally born with, of just being happy, exuberant, enthusiastic, and inspired. But like you suggested, and what I would awaken people to with my Reiki services is this direct attachment and grounding with your higher self, your oversoul, and down into your body. This is also something I wanted to get around to talking about, the Antakharana concept, integrating the mind, body, and spirit. But yeah, it is this shift. Or like
I call it the jump.
The jump. It is.
I felt like every time I was like, I've just got to jump, because the small mind, the fear mind, will continue to just feed itself. Mm-hmm. You will stay. It wants to stay alive, so it just it just will continue. And so over and over and over again, for me, it's been a practice to see, like what you were talking, the witness mind. Sometimes I'll actually just take my energy and just pop it way up in the sky and look down and kind of go, okay, there's Cristin there. She's thinking these thoughts. Now she thought that other thought. Okay, there's a tree. And I'll just watch from up there for a while. For me, I had to kind of visualize. And even right now, I can kind of just be there and go, okay, there's Cristin, and she's talking to Troy, and here's Kristin's dog there. Look at how happy my dog is right now, right? And cute. And just, and just kind of seeing what actually is, and Kristin's thinking, oh my God, she's doing all this cool, energetic stuff. And, there's, because there's an ego in me that also gets all riled up, so I can see that and notice that. And, cool. Freedom is a play.
It is. I was just I had kind of a long, it was one Reiki session, but then it turned out also to be kind of like the client and I were exchanging, and so we're going into this long thing about other services and other work. Anyway, I got kind of exhausted. I went outside for a short walk, came back in, and then I felt like I just sort of shifted back into my native self, as I've done a soul retrieval experience, but then it was just like exactly the fiery, exuberant, inspired energy that I was born with, and so excited but empowered to be able to then get back to work on today some of the creations and projects I'm working on, which I've learned, this is one of my new awakenings. It's less about putting projects on a to-do list, because then that stresses the mind that you just have to get this done, these things done, and then you try to get them done and all that. That doesn't work. So for a project,
please tell me. I'm really excited for what you're about to say.
Yeah. So this is what's freeing, is to treat your project not just for your job, but for what you truly, your soul is aligned with. But treat your projects like a sacred ritual. Bring all of your passion and enthusiasm here, grounded in sacredness, and think of it as like something you're putting together, or a ritual, a ceremony that you're doing, blessing the project with consciousness. But it's so exciting, because then when you do that, you can just be all of your higher self, all of your inspiration, and feel like you can stand up straight, standing in the presence and before God, because that's what you are, and because you have this power to create your dream, your vision. That is God and what God intends for us. Yahweh. I even use the word Allah, but anything else, any other words you want to name, that's the purpose. And so that's one purpose of humanity, is creation, and being able to use the energy of the Creator literally in a sacred and empowered and inspired way while you're creating things. Otherwise, if you're just creating things just to make a profit and just to keep going, that's a little bit further away from God than if you can do it with true spirit and inspiration and in the vision of your spirit.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I know that's a lot, but it's really kind of simple when you start to put it together and apply it.
Yes. My to-do lists do cause me sort of like an issue sometimes, sort of like, I want to be the curator not only of my thoughts, but also of my time here, right? And so I did see that I was struggling, and that I struggle against time. That was one of the core thoughts and beliefs that I saw within myself that I needed to shift, and that I'm working on shifting around time, and that time is my own, and that time is really all I have here. And before, I had the unconscious thought, so I was beating the drum of, I don't like time, I'm late. And so, I mean, in other words, these little thoughts that we have can beat as a drum inside us. And until we hear them and can transform them, just shed some light on them, they can really control every moment of our lives. And so for you to say with your words, like we were talking about before, to see each moment as sacred, and each movement as beautiful, and each movement as with and in union with God, force, magical consciousness, whatever you want to call it, divinity. And again, I will offer to you, to everyone, the words that they use to define that isness is also theirs to curate. And so we've been given the word God or Christ or divine. However, we are creators in this moment, and we are responsible, and we have appeared to be incarnating in individual souls. And so I love when I hear other person's definition of what that isness is, what that thing is that they know inside of them is so beautiful. And I guess for me, as a curator of words, as a word explorer, I can feel the words, right? Just like I can feel the crystals. There's a lot of subtlety here, I guess is what I'm saying, Troy. I think that the reason that I connect with you when I first met you is because what I feel with you is that your energy connects with a lot of subtle, very subtle, very soft, cloud-like energy that is just, unmistakably divine presence on another level, and that you touch that. And so that's kind of what I noticed in the crystal shop and noticed in my life, is that when I explore completely different energies, I'm able to explore on a really subtle level. And that's a gift, but it's also something that we all can do. But it's also something about our instruments, right? What our different instrument. I also look at, I think I got off track there, Troy, and I think I also probably interrupted you, and I'm thanking you for the grace that you're giving me to continue on this path a little bit. Our bodies are like instruments. I've heard this before, and the instruments that we have, like one person could have a flute as their body and the other person has a cello, and therefore something to learn is how your body acts. And it's not only your organs, but I like to say that we also have a spiritual organ. Some people would call it the light body, but I like to think of it like an organ, because if I think of it like an organ, then for me it's more visceral. And that this other organ that you've been given, that everybody has been given, is there for everybody to explore. And this is part of our freedom. It's also part of like what you and I are hoping to open up to other people today who are listening, is that we all have that. And so it's the awareness of becoming aware of that, the light body, this other thing that we can't see that surrounds us and also is within each of our cells. It's both, and it surrounds us and it's in our cells. And it perceives in a certain way. And it's absolutely beautiful and so fun to explore. And so to just open up that possibility to people, Troy, I think is like part of the reason we're having this conversation, so that people can see the unseen world, Anyway, there we go. Bam. I'll put a period on that. I'll just go bam there. It's, it's fun because I'm talking about it, but I'm also visually, I feel it. I feel what I'm saying. And that's when it becomes ooh, let's see what's here. Let's see what else we can create. Let's see what else we can curate and explore here with Troy.
Cristin, I have to say that you are a channeler. And before we close, I think this is about an hour long, but before we close, I want to wrap up with some of my closing thoughts, kind of going on that, but also coming back to the Antakharana concept, explaining that, what I know of that. Definitely, I agree with you that our bodies are divine instruments, and some people are still of the hazy thought that the body is just a suit, a vessel for the soul, and that the soul is separate from the body. The opposite is actually the reality, that we have these bodies, and yes, they are the vessel that our soul chose every detail of, every gene and function of, and bloodline of, to live this life exactly as our souls chose it before incarnation and before birth. But the soul, a fraction of the whole larger higher self, oversoul, does incarnate into the body especially into the heart, but also the visual sensory part is in the mind and the brain. So there's that bit of the soul. But the body is a very important and sacred, you could use the word instrument, sacred tool or instrument, I think is a better word, for the soul to have these very meaningful and divinely ordained lifetimes and life experiences of all sorts that our souls choose to then grow, not just grow up through childhood, but to go through these stages of life that teach us and sometimes traumatize and then heal us. And we can learn our healing, but then learn these ways of also cultivating enlightenment. We can learn various skills and explore our supernatural gifts. So there's many ways that the body can be an excellent instrument for the soul to learn. Those of us souls who do choose to go in bodies, some types of souls actually don't even incarnate in bodies, which go along the she and the fairy and deity evolution route. But that's a different topic. So when
that sounds fun though.
That is a really fun topic to explore. Yeah, I'll say that. But I want to talk about the Antakharana, which is something I started learning about almost 2 years ago, I guess, when I first started to get introduced to the Antakharana symbol in my Reiki mastership. It's really a pretty advanced, I think, a very advanced yoga knowledge, Vedic knowledge, but also the Antakharana symbol has been found in Tibetan temples. It was kept pretty secretive, but now it's all over the internet, so it's not like a big secret anymore, but it is a concept that isn't so easy for what I would term neophytes or the newbies to spirituality. So what this is, though, and very important, I think, for freedom, learning spiritual and energetic and sovereign and mental and emotional, as well as just personal freedom in life, is the Antakharana symbol has 3 cubes in a circle, and I could I'll put a depiction of that in the YouTube video later, but it represents the evolved integration of and cultivation of the body, the mind, and the soul. And it takes a long time to form an Antakharana from a soul or from a being. So it's one of those things that you really have to devote to as a path of truly, with whatever practices you choose. I think there's specific practices in yoga, but cultivating and growing, not only becoming a lovely person, but also becoming aware of, maybe evolving ESP and supernatural gifts, which in the Vedic knowledge I know is called siddhi or siddhis. There are actually structures and points within the aura and energy body that are mapped out and give us these specific gifts of not only clairvoyance and ESP sight and perception. That's sort of a basic one. Mm-hmm. But there are these other abilities. One that I seem to be that I'm exploring is I call it bilocation. It's kind of like astral bilocation.
Yeah, we could do a whole one on that.
We actually can. Yeah, let's do another episode just like on these siddhis and ESP gifts. But
bilocation, okay.
There's others, many others, and so they go into different different abilities that people can actually awaken to and develop with yoga practices and strengthening and toning of the body to start with, which includes the energy body and energy channels and chakras, and then the mind and emotional faculties, but integrating these with the soul, which is a different layer. But perhaps this does open another box or a doorway, really, that we can start exploring, that really, yeah, it does sort of shed light on and suggest something beyond religion, something beyond most teachings. Just this sort of availability of evolution, but also sort of a goal or destiny, if you want to devote to it, of becoming an embodied, fully awake, evolved, I think that's the Antakharana, but while you're in a body still, being able to be like the full capacity of what I think star people would be. A lot of star people are perceived as, some of the human ones, especially like Pleiadians, some others that come to us, approach us, and we just feel like a really lovely, healing, heavenly, divine energy from them. That is an awakened Antakharana, siddhi, awakened body, when they can still be in a body form, but
Yes.
fully awake and feel like the presence of an angel. That's freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
that's what I'm hoping for humanity. Yeah, we could. There's so many directions I could go with that. But I have been hearing that as we are having more and more children, that as a consciousness, we're becoming more aware that it's much more fun to come down here and be able to remember who we really are. And so people are coming down more embodied and more in their remembrance. Mm-hmm. And not having this long stage, which of forgetting and going back, of all this, and suffering, so much suffering, right? And if you think about us as like this just huge, all-knowing, magical, all-intelligent, cosmic consciousness, then this consciousness, of course, is going to say, hey, I could do a whole talk on this, but hey, a little bit, we sort of screwed up by when we incarnated as physical beings, making us forget so much, right? And let's start incarnating here on Earth as more aware beings from the get-go. Mm-hmm. Because then how much fun could we have? If people were incarnating and knowing who they are, then we're not going to have any, well, you'll just look at all the people who we are kind of like, why are they here? We're not going to have any of those characters here. And then we really can be creating, heaven on earth. All we need is to have this one little thing happen where there's enough of us that realize that next time we need to come back as almost fully aware beings. That yes, I'm physical and I'm divine. I'm both, and I'm divine as I'm here, and I'm a creator while I'm here on earth. What kind of a world could we discover and create if people were coming back with almost their whole, like you said, having the, whatever that structure was, whatever you named, that's, the whole thing.
Yeah.
How beautiful would that be? That's what I envision. That's apparently part of my work here, is to wake people up to the idea of that we are creating this now, and so it's our responsibility to actually go into the mainframe now and start rewriting our future. Not that it's already actually, just so you know, when we're remembering, when we're thinking about the future, we're actually remembering the future. It's already done. But anyway, that's a whole other story we could do.
Let's
this was so fun, Troy.
let's-
I could just keep talking.
let's elaborate and metaphorically write those stories. But yeah, let's elaborate on that in more episodes. Thank you for that, Cristin. For now, I think this is a long enough tea time.
Yeah.
It's kind of a long one, a long recording, but we definitely. I have my own green smoothie at this time, but cheers. So I just want to say that that's definitely a whole. Probably going to write a book about this, The Children of New Hope, that my Seraphim has elaborated on already. About that's a whole program, a 49-year program that's been unfolding since 2008, with evolved souls coming in as the children we're seeing now. Anyway, so that's something to look forward to. Thank you so much, Cristin. I wish you blessings, and this has been a lovely tea time with angels.
Yes, thank you, Troy. This has just been awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for providing this space to create something that literally couldn't be created unless we had this conversation. So that's part of what we're doing here, is creation. Yay! Thanks.
Well, bye for now. Many blessings to you.